DocTalk is brought to you by Merck Animal Health, the science of healthier animals.
Hey folks, welcome to DocTalk today. My guest will be Dr. Todd Bilby. We're going to talk about managing reproduction in the cow herd. It's going to be a great show with a great guest. We're glad that you joined us today, so stay tuned after these messages.
For a few weeks each year, historic Lecompton turns into a living Christmas village as dozens of volunteers, thousands of ornaments, and hundreds of trees come together to transform the Territorial Capitol Museum into a Christmas postcard. The spirit of Christmas engulfs the town and all who visit.
Merry Christmas from historic Lecompton.
Kim Mannering with Hardy Insurance. Today we will talk about employee safety and work comp coverage. On your farm, do you ask your friends to come help? Are they considered employees or neighbors helping neighbors? Did you know that you can be held responsible just as if it's a work comp accident? Give me a call, we can discuss. 316-945-6733.
Kansas Corn reminds you that E15 fuel is the right choice for every kind of driver. For the car enthusiast, E15 has higher octane. For the thrifty driver, E15 is priced lower than regular unleaded. For the nature lover, E15 provides cleaner air. For the shopper who buys local, E15 has more ethanol from our Kansas corn farms. Choose E15 for a higher octane, lower price, cleaner American fuel. Message from the Kansas Corn Commission. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Closed captioning brought to you by Vet Gun with Amel and new AMA Abamectin Vet Caps, the 1-2 punch against hornfly resistance from AgriLabs.
This segment is brought to you by the Beef Quality Assurance Program and the Kansas Beef Council, improving animal care and beef safety for more than 20 years.
Hey folks, welcome to Doc Talk. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Todd Bilby, and we're here at Kansas State University. And Dr. Bilby is an expert in reproductive physiology, does a lot of work with managing reproductive issues within dairy and beef herds, and we're kind of, raised close together. He was raised in Northwest Missouri. I was raised in Southwest Iowa, and both of us get picked on a lot from being from that part of the world. But there isn't anything much more beautiful than going home up there.
That's right. Nice green grass up there.
That's right. And so some of the things that Dr. Bilby has been working with has been, you said that you went from being a beef guy to working on dairy accounts, and now you're back to working with beef accounts. And some of the things that you've seen on the reproductive side and learned, it always amazes me how we can cross reference different industries and bring ideas from one to the other, and you're kind of seeing that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing how much overlay there can be and advantages that I think both industries could learn from each other just by being able to see it on both sides of the fence.
And one of the things that we were talking about as we were preparing for this was the importance of a tight calving window.
Absolutely. I think that's a big piece. If you look at some of the old NOMS data, that USDA reports that 50% or so of the producers don't even have a defined breeding season.
Right.
And some that do, it's pretty extended at that. So, looking at the advantages of really shortening that window down brings about a lot of good profit potential per cow or per calf.
You bet.
By doing that.
And so, what would a typical, if someone that's managing their cow herd I don't want to say correctly because that means others are incorrect. I mean, you own your cows, however you do it. But
right.
what would be, a well-managed herd? What would we typically see?
I think a well-managed herd, if you could target a 60-day or less defined breeding season for your herd, I think that would be an achievable and manageable goal. And there's a lot of large operations that are achieving that.
And so at a 60-day, how many would I expect to get pregnant during that first 21 to 30 days of that first cycle?
Yeah, there's some, I think, depending on how aggressive you are in that first 21 days, if you're less than 60%, you probably got room for improvement if it's in that first 42 days, right? And so I think looking at any way you can to take them from doing the whole 60 days to down to the 21 days in the first 21 days is going to be a benefit. The problem is we look at averages, right? And we say, well, I pulled the bull out and I got a pregnancy rate of 90% or 95%, I'm doing great. But you don't know where that cow was bred in that 60-day window. Right. And so really focusing on being able to make sure you're getting them bred in the first 21 days is the advantage over just looking over a 60-day period.
You bet. So we're going to take a break. And when we come back, maybe talk to us a little bit about how that, first 21 versus last 21 really helps them with their profitability and things like that within their cow herd, within the cattle feeding industry, and so on. Folks, we're lucky to have Dr. Todd Bilby here with us today. We'll take a break, and we'll be back right after these messages.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Clyde Sutton, Nest City, Kansas. Lived on this place all my life. About a year and a half ago, got to where I couldn't saddle a horse. The pain was terrible. Read about stem cell. First it wasn't for me, then they started doing neck and back. Went and had it done. As you can see, I saddled a horse. I'm still building fence. Love to shoot a shotgun rifle, and I'm able to participate, not like I used to, but nevertheless I can do the things I used to do, and life is good.
Kansas Farm Bureau has served farm families and rural Kansas for more than 100 years, and we're pleased to offer new healthcare coverage choices for Kansans in 2020 through Kansas Farm Bureau health plans. No matter what stage of life you're in, we'll have options that fit your lifestyle. Plus, our network of providers is one of the largest available throughout the state of Kansas and beyond. For more information, including the different plans available, or to get a quote, visit kfbhealthplans.com.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
ValleyVet.com, ValleyVet.com, Valley Vet Supply.
This segment is brought to you by the Beef Quality Assurance Program and the Kansas Beef Council, improving animal care and beef safety for more than 20 years.
Hey folks, welcome back to Doc Talk. Dr. Dan Thompson here with our guest, Dr. Todd Bilby. And Dr. Bilby is an expert in reproductive physiology and herd management. And we were talking about tightening up that calving and getting them closer to that 21 days. But I don't think people understand the advantages. And maybe they do, but let's rehash some of those advantages.
Sure. There's a lot of good data out there, and some of the more recent data with large numbers out of University of Nebraska really showed some nice improvements when you take them from the third calving interval, assuming a 21 days interval in there. If you take them from the third one and move them to the first one, they had improvements in weaning weights. Some of it was 20 to 40, 50 pound improvement in weaning weights just by taking them from the third to the first, getting them on the ground sooner so they have longer to live to eat.
Right.
And I mean, that's the main premise behind this. But on top of that, it went through, they followed those heifers all the way through till slaughter, and some through breeding, followed the steers through slaughter, and they saw improvements not only in weaning weights, but pre-calving weights as well, and body conditions, pregnancy rates into their next breeding season. They followed the steers through, they had more hot carcass weights. I mean, there was just improvements both around. And if you take the cows that calved early in the first calving season, there was a higher percentage of those that stayed in the herd longer, meaning they kept getting pregnant quicker and sooner. versus the ones that weren't calving in the first 21 intervals. So I think there's a lot of opportunity for both the heifers and steers and the cow herd as well by shortening the calving interval and get them in the first 21 days if you can.
Yeah, I don't think people understand. I mean, we always thought of it making sure that they all calve in the first 60 days just so we didn't have to go out there and keep checking them. You know?
Right.
You know, we weren't even thinking
that's another
about,
advantage.
Yeah, we weren't even thinking about the economic side of this.
Right.
But this is big money.
Yeah,
this in some management that if we can shift these animals down there, especially these guys that are retaining ownership all the way through,
sure,
you start thinking about fewer days on feed, less yardage, better carcass quality.
Yeah.
Everything that we are getting paid for can go right back to making sure that these animals have a calf just a month earlier.
Exactly. And some of the profit potential of doing that, I mean, there's been numbers out there of $60 per cow up to $160 per calf advantage of doing that. Dr. Lamb, when he was at University of Florida, did a nice one with 300 cow herd, took it from 120 day calving interval down to about 70, using timed AI and aggressive bull management as well. And they realized about a $50,000 profit potential on a 300 cow herd just by reducing it per year. So I think there's huge advantages. You know, the pushback is I got to run them through the chute another time. But if you look at the profit potential, I think it's more than the opportunity to go ahead and do that.
Yeah, and so we'll talk some more after the break, but just the understanding, folks, of being able to shorten that calving season up. It isn't necessarily to decrease your workload, but it's to get those calves on the ground sooner. Mm-hmm. More time to eat the groceries that the good Lord provides.
That's right. Absolutely.
Good. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have more with Dr. Todd Bilby here at Kansas State University. You're watching DocTalk. Thanks for watching. Hey folks, welcome to our Cattle First Minute, which is sponsored by Behringer Ingelheim Vet Medica. Preconditioning season is coming up, and it is vitally important as we think about animal welfare, antimicrobial stewardship, sustainability, and all the different topics that are ancillary to our industry besides just making money that we need to pay attention to. And I don't know of any tool that we have that is better in these types of systems and preventing antimicrobial use than preconditioning calves. Proper vaccination, make sure you work with your veterinarian, getting those calves bunk broke, making sure that they know what a water tank is, castrating, dehorning, deworming. All of these things need to be done that make a healthier calf, that make a calf that's a lot less stressed when it goes to the feedlot, and hopefully it'll bring a calf that is much more valuable to you and your farm.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
No matter where, no matter why, the Veterinary Health Center at Kansas State University is committed to providing quality patient care to animals and exceptional customer service to their owners. From routine checkups to emergency and specialty care, our world-renowned specialists and experienced professionals are here to discover, to teach, and to heal.
Let us know.
How can I help?
How can we help?
Some call it a come from behind victory, an unlikely win, a reversal of fortune, snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. This is our moment, our victory dance, because we choose confidence. We choose Zuprevo for BRD treatment. Ask your veterinarian to prescribe Zuprevo. Zuprevo is a fast-acting, long-lasting BRD treatment that you can count on to get the job done. Choose confidence. Choose Zuprevo from Merck Animal Health.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
This segment is brought to you by the Beef Quality Assurance Program and the Kansas Beef Council, improving animal care and beef safety for more than 20 years.
Hey folks, welcome back to DocTalk. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Todd Bilby, and we're at Kansas State University today, and we're talking about shrinking that calving season up. And Dr. Bilby, you've worked some with this and seen some of the practices that can be done to kind of sync these cows up to tighten that down.
Absolutely. A lot of potential there by just using a reproductive hormone, prostaglandin, that's been around for years and years. And I think there's two easy ways. A producer that right now is maybe not doing anything, but hopefully after hearing this show, maybe has some interest. I think an easy way to put your toe in it, if you will, from a synchronization standpoint, is to give a prostaglandin. You can do it one of two ways, either at the beginning of your breeding season when you kick your bulls in, that's one way. I think the better way is to go ahead and kick your bulls in and wait about 4 to 5 days, then run your cows through and give them one shot of prostaglandin. When you do that, those cows are getting bred each day with the bull up till the time of prostaglandin. But when you give them prostaglandin, the ones that got bred, it's not gonna affect them as far as reducing their CL or causing any abortion, but it will go ahead and the rest of them cause them to show a heat and get bred in the next 3 to 5 days. Most of them should be bred up. So within that small window, because of one prostaglandin injection, you should get a large chunk of your animals bred, assuming they're cycling and ready to go.
Well, when I start to think about it, and I know everybody's going to say, well, I don't want to run my cows through the chute, you know, and things like that, but when we're talking about $50,000 on 300 cows, or we're talking about increasing our opportunity and ability to select replacement heifers because we have more of them born during that first breeding period, this is a game changer for a lot of cow-calf producers.
Absolutely, and it's something that's been around for a long time, but I think it's not something that producers just typically immediately saw, like putting an implant in the ear and you saw weight gain, you know, so many days later. You know, it's something because you don't realize it till they calve the next year, and maybe you've already forgotten what you did. But it's a pretty easy thing that's been around for quite a few years that I think it's a great opportunity for producers, and the profit potential is there to go ahead and go through the labor and time to run them back through the chute and get a prostaglandin in them.
Oh yeah, and so, you know, I mean, it's a new pickup, and you know,
right.
But so when we do this, what exactly is going on in the animal to kind of kickstart this?
Sure. So, you know, again, assuming these cows are cycling, which hopefully most of them are at the beginning of your breeding season, they should have a nice corpus luteum or CL on that ovary, and when you give a shot of prostaglandin, that causes that CL to regress or die, and that's what's been holding that follicle from going ahead and growing up and having her show a heat, and you breed to that. And so when you give the shot of prostaglandin, you kill the CL, and it allows that cow to then show a heat 2 to 4 days later, roughly. And it's a good heat, and hopefully the bull catches it.
Yeah. Speaking of bull, do I need to increase bull power when I do this?
Good question. And so typically, you know, in a synchronized herd, depending on if you're using young or mature bulls, and hopefully they've all had a breeding soundness exam and they're good bulls being put out there and relatively decent sized pastures, not too big, you should be somewhere around that 1 to 20. 1 to 15 if it's younger bulls, maybe 1 to 25 if it's older bulls, somewhere in there. So it shouldn't be that much different than what a lot of guys are already running today. Those bulls can handle quite a bit.
Cool. Make them work.
That's right. Make them work.
All right, folks, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Dr. Bilby and I are going to wrap up on this. It's been a great show. Thanks for joining us.
Sure Crop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business that started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for the grower. We're based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well in their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but yet we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at Corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, we're glad to answer it and work with you.
Welcome to the Western Kansas Wildlife Travel Center, right here in my hometown of Oakley, Kansas. We're the front door of Western Kansas, located on 3 main highways, I-70, US 83, and US 40. And all those roads lead to history, beautiful scenery, and adventure, no matter which direction you go. We now have an IHOP. That brand that you've trusted up and down the road in all your travels is staffed with local folks, real people, just like you and me, and we're waiting on you to join us. So for fun, adventure, fuel up, fuel your body, and let's have some fun.
What if U.S. soybean meal were more than a commodity? If seed companies and the soybean checkoff built a better variety? That future is here. The time is now. To meet end-user demands, the soybean checkoff is investing in the compositional quality of soybeans, including meal. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the soybean checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
This segment is brought to you by the Beef Quality Assurance Program and the Kansas Beef Council, improving animal care and beef safety for more than 20 years.
Hey folks, welcome back to Doc Talk. We're lucky to have Dr. Todd Bilby here with us today, and it's just been a great show.
Thank
and
you.
Very thankful for you taking time out. I know you're busy, but to get you in here, we really appreciate it. It's been phenomenal, and it's something that everybody can take something home and improve. And as we were talking during the break, we got to that deal. It was like, well, what if I give this and it doesn't work? Or, what are the things that could go wrong that don't have anything to do with the program that you're doing, but maybe something else is going on within those cows?
And that's usually the phone calls I get.
Right. Yeah, you never get the slap on the back.
And it didn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's always an opportunity of anything you have to run a cow through the chute. There's always an opportunity to mess something up.
Yeah.
Right? And so I think first and foremost, just make sure you're keeping detailed records and make sure you're using products that are known out there and that they're stored correctly and you're using the right needle size and all those things when you're administering any product, but obviously giving a prostaglandin is the same thing as well. But then look at your cow herd in general. If these cows were already, if you're wanting to get into synchronizing and whether it be synchronizing AI or just synchronizing with the bulls like we've been talking about, is your herd ready for it? Are they in the right body condition? You want them in good body condition score, roughly around a 5 body condition score when they're calving, and then hopefully gaining weight or definitely not losing weight up till the time of AI.
Right.
So that's really important. Stress factor is going to be big. Last year I got a lot of phone calls because Missouri got a nice heat wave that went through about the time a lot of guys were breeding. And so they want to know how come this didn't work. And so keep in mind heat stress or any stress is going to reduce.
And that can have an impact on the bulls too.
Absolutely. Don't forget about the bulls.
Yeah, because they'll go lay up underneath the shade tree.
Yep, absolutely. And whether it's a cow or a bull, when they get heat stressed, it's roughly 40 to 50 days before that cow's ovulating good eggs like it was before it got heat stressed, and same with the bull. It's 40 to 50 days before that bull is producing the same quality semen that it was before it got heat stressed.
Wow.
So there's a lot of long time. It's not just a few days. So that's why it's important, working these animals in the morning, or hopefully doing it early enough in the year that you're avoiding the heat stress times. But sometimes heat waves are hard to be avoided, and so you might have to look at waiting and doing it again in so many days once the heat's subsided or something like that. But definitely these programs don't work unless these animals are cycling, and so body condition score and nutrition is such key in these elements.
You bet. Getting them set up for success, and we always stress work with your local veterinarian,
Absolutely.
And they will know, if it's going on in other herds and what's going on around your area.
Absolutely. Yep, all these scripted products and any of these protocols should definitely be, your first line of defense should be your veterinarian.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for being with us, folks. Dr. Todd Bilby, we appreciate all that you do.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching DocTalk. Remember, if you want to know what we do, you can find us on the web at www.doctalktv.com. Always work with your local veterinarian. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Todd Bilby, and we'll see you down the road.
Closed captioning brought to you by Vet Gun with Amel and new AMA Abamectin Vet Caps, the 1-2 punch against hornfly resistance, from AgriLabs.
For more information about this program or previous programs, go to DocTalkTV.com.
DocTalk was brought to you by Merck Animal Health, the science of healthier animals.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers, farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Kansans have a new choice for Medicare supplement insurance plans. With Medicare supplement insurance plans from Kansas Farm Bureau, you have access to 4 levels of coverage, affordable rates, and service from an organization that served Kansans for more than 100 years. For more information on Kansas Farm Bureau Medicare supplement plans, including rates and to apply, visit kfbhealthplans.com.
Hello, I'm Dr. Frank Lyons from Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center here in Manhattan, Kansas. Daryl was one of our patients that we did about 7 months ago.
I dug trees by hand for years and years and years. In the process, I wore out my rotator cuff. But when I learned about this process, I thought if there's a way to get rid of this pain, then I want to do it. So we did it and it worked. I'm not going to go out and take trees with a shovel anymore, but I can do the things that I want to do now.
Well, it's been very gratifying to help people with their painful joints and other entities, and it's been especially gratifying to be able to help people who I know and have worked with and known for many years.